welcome back to my channel. My name is Arushi and today I have another review waiting for you today, and it is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. I'm in the shade 40 Nude. Now, before I start this video, again I would like to remind you that YouTube policies have changed and now they have incorporated a little bell icon right next to the subscribe button under the video. If you just scroll down and look at it, you need to click that if you want to get notifications of whenever I upload my videos. So yeah, go ahead and click that, and that way you won't miss any video that I upload. Another way to do that is you can head over to my channel, and right next to the subscribe button over there you'll find the same bell icon, so don't forget to check that. And yeah, now let's get started with the video. So as I said, I'm going to be reviewing the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. I'm, of course, as I said before, in the shade 40 Nude. Now it says that it is our first gel whipped foundation. Fresh, new and flawless, Dream Velvet whips a fresh gel into a soft velvet texture. Complexion is perfected and smooth with a soft matte finish, just like velvet. Skin feels fresh with lasting hydration. It also says the same thing in what I believe is French, but I can't really read it. Now you get, let's see, you get 30 ml of product and it retails for 700 rupees. The packaging is simple and classic. I appreciate that it's in a tube format instead of a bottle with no pump or no tube or anything. I appreciate that. If you just look at this demo, you can see that the texture of this foundation looks very creamy to start with, but then when you start blending it into your skin, you can see that it is a whipped up kind of mousse cream consistency. A little bit of product does go a long way. As you can see, it does cover quite a lot, but there are definite qualms that I have had with this foundation. When I was testing it out for a solid month, I used it every single time I wore foundation. Whenever I did wear it, I used this one, and I used it all different ways. Now, I found that the best way to apply this is using a sponge. It worked just as well with my Real Techniques one as it did with my Forever 21 sponge. So both of those are fine, but you definitely need to apply this with some kind of damp makeup sponge. If you use some kind of brush with it, it does not... It sits on your skin very funny. It looks like it's sitting on top of it and it doesn't really become a part of your face and look flawless. It definitely looks like foundation. It looks cakey. It brings out any little bit of peach fuzz that you have on your face. Now, typically you don't always find a lot of peach fuzz here. If it's there, obviously, all over your face you have little hair, and that's natural, but I have never noticed the hair that I have on the center of my forehead. But when I applied this with a brush, all of that got accentuated. I tend to have a little bit of hair over here on my jawline. You can't really see that right now, but I do tend to have that, and that got accentuated and that just moved around and it looked horrible. No matter how I applied it, except with the damp sponge, it did not sit well on my skin at all, no matter how I tried. When I applied it with my damp sponge, you can see that in the demo right now, it did shear out the coverage a little bit. This is maybe light to medium coverage, definitely not high, definitely not sheer. So it did shear out the coverage a little bit, which is why, as you can see right now, there is half my face done with one light layer of foundation and the other half. So it doesn't give you a very high coverage with the Beauty Blender or my Real Techniques sponge as I'm using right now. But when you try to build it up, it can build up a little bit, but then it starts looking like you're wearing foundation. It doesn't look flawless and skin-like in that way. I have not been able to use it in a way that it looks non-foundation-y, more skin-like, you know. So I don't think that this is very buildable, and I don't think that it's very skin-like or very natural looking. It definitely looks like a foundation. I have tried to use this for flash photography. It doesn't seem to have a flashback. And I have tried to wear it on a no makeup kind of day and try to fool people whether or not I'm wearing makeup, and every single time they have been able to tell that I am. Other than that, it's an acceptable foundation. It's very light feeling when you apply it. It might look like you're wearing foundation, but I have never felt like I'm particularly cakey or anything. Back where I study, it's very, very hot all the time. It almost never becomes winter. So over there, even when I was sweating, I did not feel like it's cakey, or I didn't really feel like there's anything on my face at all. So that is definitely a big, big, big plus point for this. So yeah, the foundation is not that buildable. It doesn't sit very well on my skin, and from a distance, when I look at myself in a mirror from a distance, or if somebody is looking at me, the foundation does make me look pretty nice, but when you come a little closer, you can see all of these little imperfections. So I don't really like that. The other thing that I don't like about this foundation is that it is 700 rupees. Now that is one of the more expensive foundations that Maybelline has come out with. I think I've tried out almost all of the foundations that they have currently, and this is so far the most expensive one that I've purchased from them, and it's so far the one that I have liked the least. The Dream Matte Mousse foundation I like a lot more. It's actually a very, very nice foundation, especially for those who want a nice medium high coverage, who want to look like they're not wearing a lot of foundation, and especially for oily skinned people. It's wonderful. This is also pretty nice feeling again for oily skinned people. For dry skin, it's going to catch on to your imperfections even more. When I have dry patches on my face, there are times it doesn't look nice at all. It's overall only an okay foundation, so I don't really want to say that I recommend it. I don't really. When it comes to the lasting hydration part, not really. I don't recommend it for people with dry skin. It doesn't have any hydration at all. So yeah, other than that, I appreciate the packaging very much. I appreciate the texture very much, but that's about it. That's the only good thing that I can say about this foundation. You guys know I love Maybelline, so I am not trying to bash the company at all. Maybelline is one of my favorite companies, so that's nice, but this is not their finest moment in my opinion. When it comes to having to set it down, it doesn't really need a lot of setting. Initially, it doesn't feel like it would need a lot of setting, but the 1 or 2 times that I didn't set it, it started to break up a lot faster, and it settled in my smile lines and around here a lot. On the tip of my nose, it started just breaking apart, and you could see it settling into my pores and stuff. So it definitely does need to be set. But if you set it with a mattifying powder, like the one that I use right now is the MAC Studio Fix, and that's a matte powder, so it looks very cakey. So there is no good way to wear this. You can't really set it with anything. If you don't set it and you apply, like I have the ambient lighting powder by Hourglass, and that makes it look, again, it settles into fine lines and it makes you look a little glittery, even though the ambient lighting powder is not highlighty in that way at all. It's supposed to make you look all diffused and everything, but it still it acts very weirdly, and I don't like it very much. Another not so great thing with this is it's very typical of a lot of companies that launch products first in America and then in India, is that it has only been launched in 4 shades that are 40 nude, I'm reading this off my phone, 40 nude, 60 sandy beige, 75 natural beige, and 92 caramel. So the first 3 shades are geared towards more light skin, and I have the lightest foundation that they are offering right now, and there's only one that is for more deeper skin tone. So I don't appreciate that. I wish that there was a greater range of shades for a lot of different people. There isn't anything for deeper skinned people. So if somebody is deeper than the caramel shade that they're offering, then they're going to end up looking ashy, and if a foundation doesn't match you, it's not going to look good. It's not going to make you look fairer or darker. It's just going to make you look bad. Now with that, I finish this video. I really hope that you found it useful, and I really hope that I saved somebody some money if you guys were planning to buy it and now I have dissuaded you from it because I don't recommend it. So yeah, if you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Again, I must remind you, go ahead and click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you can get notifications for whenever I upload next. I do upload every Wednesday and Saturday, so stay tuned for my next one, and I will see you next time. Bye.